Hello and welcome back to the Movie Memo Recaps. Today we are going to recap a 2014 mystery thriller named Before I Go to Sleep. Keep alert, spoilers incoming. In the opening scene, Christine Lucas suddenly wakes up but with a strange feeling, not knowing the person she slept with or even the place where she is, hence moving to the bathroom where she finds photos pinned but doesn't seem to remember anything about it all. She moves back to the room and the man tells her that he is called Ben, who is her husband, and they have been married for 14 years. He tells her that her name is Christine, 40 years old, and that she got an accident 10 years earlier which damaged her brain, that every time she sleeps she wakes up with no memory of her past life from her early 20s onwards. He shows her the photo album as he tells her about their wedding, and while setting off for work he shows her a chart that can help remind her routine. He tells her that they would be celebrating their anniversary, though when he tries to kiss her she seems to hesitate, and he moves out for work though Christine stays behind confused. Suddenly the telephone rings and it's Dr. Mike Nash, a neurologist at a local hospital, who tells her that he has been helping her to recover her memories, but Ben doesn't know about it. Still confused, not remembering about it all, he sends her to check for a camera inside her wardrobe, and on getting it she plays a recording of her own self stating her name and age, and that every time she sleeps she wakes up without any memory of herself, which makes her feel like her life is over. We flash back 2 weeks while with Dr. Nash, who informs her that it is unprofessional to work on her without her husband's consent. He reminds her that he met her in a park after a friend of him had informed him about her condition, since he is a neurologist dealing in typical psychogenic amnesia. He informs her that she trusted him and gave him her contacts, but when she tried to tell Ben about it he tried to divert her to another treatment, which she realized wouldn't be helpful. Nash provides her with a camera so that she can have a visual diary as she records her thoughts every day to progress, and after inform her about the state in which she was found 10 years ago with severe injuries. She informs him that Ben told her that she got an accident, though Nash provides her with a medical report and newspaper cutouts stating she had been beaten severely to near death. He tells her that no one knows who injured her and later warn her not tell Ben about the camera, and when she tells him that in the morning she would not remember where she kept it, he promises to remind her. She returns home to record her daily thoughts as instructed as Ben is preparing coffee, but on hearing him moving up she pretends to be asleep. The following morning she wakes up in her strange state as usual without any memory, and Ben again reminds her that they are married as he is a chemistry teacher, and when he leaves for work she meets Nash while playing her last recordings and wonder why Ben had lied that she had got an accident. Nash tells her that they are heading back at the scene where she was found injured, and on meeting the person who arrived first on the scene he informs her that he found her injured lying and couldn't tell them what had happened to her. She questions herself what she could be doing near an airport, and Nash informs her that there are hotels around, though she doesn't seem to remember why she could stay in a hotel, yet she was married, and Nash informs her that the medical report suggested that she had had an intercourse, though they didn't find semen to track the person she was with, and it didn't seem that she had been raped. She wonders that she was married and didn't think she would cheat on Ben, and on returning home she records her progress but suddenly hears sounds of a baby, but on checking outside she finds nothing. While sleeping she gets a vision of a hotel corridor and a room where she was striving to escape with injuries. At the hospital Nash shows her different photos as they track her reactions on them, and afterwards they pinpoint out one lady named Claire, hence inquiring from Ben, who first pretends not knowing about her. She informs him that she had a memory of her with red hair, hence Ben admitting that she used to be so close with her, but they separated after the accident, and she moved to Canada. He shows her some of her photos, though Christine seems unhappy that he hid pieces of her memories, but Ben informs her that Claire was fed up of her being forgotten always. She blames him for trying to edit her life, though he informs her that it's all about what he can handle, as he also gets tired sometimes. But he always holds on, and later on records her progress with Claire's photos pinned on the wall. In the morning Ben notices the photos as Christine receives a call from Nash to watch her progress, and while viewing her previous recordings she notices the missing photos, hence looking for them everywhere, and suddenly find them hidden. On looking at one of them, she gets a vision in which she told Claire she was pregnant, hence moving to the charts and albums to find any relations to a baby, and after noticing stretch marks she calls Ben to ask the whereabouts of the child. She confronts him about the child, and he informs her that he died, and on moving inside he tells her that their child was named Adam, though he died 3 weeks before she got sick. He shows her some photos of him when he was 3 months old, as well as a birth certificate and a note from him, which makes her weep as well as Ben, and later on that night she records her progress. In the morning she suddenly wakes up with a vision and later record that her agony for the loss of Adam seems new, though Ben seems used to it, and because of the hurting memories about Adam she removes the photos on the chart. She moves out but nearly gets knocked, and on meeting Nash she asks him about Adam, but he doesn't seem to know about him but inform her that she usually talked about him. Back home she looks at her photos with Adam and asks Ben if she was a good mom before her accident, and Ben informs her that she loved him so much, she requests him to always tell her the truth, even if it might hurt her, and while asleep she gets a vision, while in a hotel, where she notices a name Mike and someone attacking her. She meets Nash as she plays her progress, and after a drive she informs him that the person who hurt her was called Mike, and when comforting her she realizes the name Mike on his card as well as a vision to run away thinking it was Nash that hurt her. He gets an injection and run after, not until when he gets her, and on waking up she receives a call from Nash, who informs her that she has started getting confabulations, fixing them in her memories, and that they need to meet because he found something about Ben. On meeting Nash he informs her that she has become vulnerable since she has developed feelings for him, yet he terms it unprofessional, and inform her that he will get for her another neurologist to handle her, though Christine doesn't welcome it since it's only him she feels safe with. He reveals to her that Ben had requested to transfer her from a psychiatric hospital to an adult care center, yet in some records it was stated that Ben had divorced her long ago, and provide her with the number of Claire since she called multiple times inquiring about her. She leaves a voicemail for Claire and moved to confront Ben why he didn't tell her that they were divorced, and Ben informs her that it was after the death of Adam, but he promises never to leave her again. Suddenly she receives a call from Claire, who informs her that she always called at the hospital, but they never provided her with her address. She reveals to her that she is still around, and the two arrange a meeting after Claire informs her that she can't come over to her place as there are some issues that she would explain to her. They meet at a certain park and Christine feels happy seeing her, as she seems to recall her well, and when she asks Claire about Adam she informs her that she was a good mother to her. She asks her what happened to her, and Claire informs to her that it is difficult to explain, but it came a time when she had gotten a new job and her life was changing as well as her dressing code, and when Claire confronted her she revealed to her that she was seeing another man. She continues that she had told Ben about the issue after Christine had got the accident, and also revealed to her that during the time when she was injured Claire and Ben came closer and ended up having an intercourse which shocks Christine, and before they separate she leaves her with a letter that Ben left behind for her after the divorce. In the letter Ben tells her how she was so close with Adam and how much she loved him, but her condition couldn't make her remember them after the accident, hence Ben took him away, which makes Christine sad. That night she records a video telling Ben how much she loves him after everything he had gone through, and when Ben returns she reveals the truth to him about the camera and seeing Nash in order to help her restore her memory, but instead he just gets furious to slap her and leave. She calls Claire to inform her that she told Ben the truth, but he just got angry, and Claire decides to call Ben and talk to him as Christine records her progress. Suddenly Claire calls again that Ben informed her it's been 4 years since they haven't been together, and when she asks him the description of the Ben she stays with, it turns out he is not the Ben Claire knows. She informs him that the real Ben has a scar which Christine checks on the photos and failed to notice, as the imposter has also returned, and when she looks at the photos critically it turns out they are edited. She locks her door as she gets memories while being tortured by him, but suddenly open the door to check for him, but she doesn't seem to find him anywhere. She moves carefully though worried and start to look for some keys which she manages to find so that she escapes, but on moving outside she gets captured before going further. We move back to the opening scene as she has lost her memory again, and when Dr. Nash calls her to check the camera she finds her recordings while telling Ben how much she loves him, The imposter calls her to confirm she hasn't recalled, though he took her phone, as we notice Claire calling her. At the hospital, Dr. Nash seems worried, though the imposter suddenly meets him and warns him to stay away from Christine. That evening they head out for their faked anniversary at a hotel near the airport, and it's the same hotel she always has in her visions. They move inside a room where she feels strange and asks him why he has brought her to this place, but she suddenly recalls being with him, and he is called Mike. He informs her that Ben left her long ago and explained to her how he managed to get fake documents to get her out of the adult care center. He expresses his love to her as it is the reason why he did what he did, but suddenly she recalls how he had forced her to tell Ben about him, and how he hit her back then. He pretends letting her go, but instead hit her and later get her camera and delete all her recordings, as she needs to forget everything and move on with him. He forces her to kiss him, and when she gets closer he tells her to forget Ben Oswell as Adam because he forgot her, which arouses her to realize that Adam is still alive. The psychopath hits her and a fight breaks out in the room. She manages to run out and turn on the alarm, and when the police and paramedics arrive she records everything she has gone through and promises not to let anyone take her away. Nash visits her the following morning and informs her she has 2 cracked ribs, and that Claire would come to see her as that the imposter was imprisoned. He informs her that he came with a visitor who is the real Ben, who he invites to meet her. And when he goes closer to her he informs her that he is Ben and tell her that he had to leave for Adam's sake. He tells her how much Adam loves her, though she stays silent all along, and when Ben invites Adam to meet her she teases him with some questions from the past, and he seems to remember everything, and he wonders that she also remembers everything Oswell, though she didn't show it to Nash and Ben as the movie comes to the end. Thanks for watching. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe for more of these recaps. Until next time, have a nice day.